Ulonkata bati yada tó yẹ kó máa da ifá. Inú tó yẹ kó jẹun ló fi bí pa. Ọba tálá, ọba takuntakun. Ṣàngó, Èṣù, Ògún, Ọya, Ọ̀ṣun. Ìwọ ló ń bọ̀ nílé. Kí ni ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tán ṣe nílé yìí o? Ó jẹ́ lọ jára.
Alafia, peace and blessings. Aboro Aboye Ojise. Welcome to another episode of the African Spirituality Experience. I am your host, Orisha Bami, and we have on with us today none other than the Oba Oloye Ojise Baba Ifa Karade. Alafia, Baba, peace and blessings. How you doing today?
Alafia, my brother. Alafia, Ibukum. Blessings to one and all. One love, one aim, and one destiny. Right? Right. Got ASHÉ happening up in here. Got the Karades happening up in here.
Yes,
this is the Empire. All right.
Yes.
So yeah. Got a lot of good messages for today, man. I am ready.
Oh, well, look, you sound like you ready to get this thing turning up. Well, it's gonna be a mic drop night. Well, it's like mics gonna be dropped all over the place. Bombs might be let loose. I don't know what might happen tonight.
Right. You better have like 4 or 5 mics, ready to hand them off to me, because I can't be bending down and picking it back up again. So no, good people. We have some serious gems.
Yes,
okay, valuable, invaluable. All right. Yeah. So it's an honor to be here. It's a blessing. All right. One love to you and the family. Ojise too. About Orisha. Okay. So we're making it happen, brother. We here now. All right. To all good people.
We here now. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
man. That's what's up. Well, let's just dive right in, man. I'm gonna go ahead and do what we do. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the tribe. We had a few more new members sign up to the channel, so we appreciate y'all. Thank you for the love and support, as always. Much love and support. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to the new members of the Ojise Institute. I think we had about 2 or 3 more new members that joined since we launched last Thursday. So for all the new members, you should be getting an email with your invite to Notion, so you can log into the portal, the home room, the home headquarters for the Ojise Institute. That ought to be coming soon, and you should be getting the invite with the recording to class 1 as well. That ought to be coming to your email inbox as soon as well, family. So for all the new members, please check your emails, throughout the night, and you should be getting that today, sometime this evening, with the invite to the Institute homepage, as well as the recording from class 1. And without further ado, we got new announcements. Instead of going every other Thursday, the Oloye has decided that we're going to do that thing every Thursday, because he felt like we need to make it do what it do, babe. We need to make it do what it do. So every other Thursday wasn't cutting it. So Baba said, man, let's turn that thing up a few more notches, and let's go every Thursday. So we're going to make it do what it do. So with that, shout out to the new members of the Institute. Shout out to the new members to the channel. And shout out to everybody who's been showing love, support, comments, feedback, shares, a lot of love, man. So I definitely appreciate everybody for the love and support, and we're going to keep making it happen, man. We're going to keep this thing rocking. And with that, man, I'm ready to dive up in this thing. Baba, where do you want to go? I know the topic is knowledge beyond initiation, and I can't wait to see where you go with this, because I never know where you're gonna go, because you're always coming from a different corner of the universe. I don't know which way you're gonna go when you come, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. So I know the way we have spoken, you said that we have to reinitiate ourselves pretty much on a daily basis. We should always be learning, studying, growing, meditating, spending time with nature, all these different things that kind of can help us ascend into the next level in regards to our spiritual practices. So with that, where we're gonna go with this knowledge beyond initiation, Baba? What you got? What you got?
Well, we're gonna start with the truth of the matter. Okay. And it's a hard truth. All right. It really is. It's difficult. And for what I've been hearing lately from those who have entrusted me, with their concerns, is that they've gone through initiations. They've invested time and money and time. Okay. They've invested their trust. They've invested their families. Okay. They've invested because their spirit is calling, you know? And I say is. Notice I'm using present tense, not was, is. Because after the initiations, and this is no slight, I'm not coming from anywhere that has anything to do with any other method, ritual, or practice. I'm just coming from where I'm coming from. Okay. And I'm coming from that concerned part as well. My people aren't learning, you know? We're investing, but that ROI seems to be coming up a little short, that return on investment. And so I find myself being called into another realm of Ifa and ASHÉ. And that realm is, as was shared with me, the term, you know, the teacher, the Babalawo who's the philosopher, the Babalawo whose major emphasis is on learning through the ascension, learning through the transformation. And when rituals and incantations and recitations don't lead to that, if they are learned at all, then that becomes questionable. Okay. In my mind, and obviously in the minds of those who are seeking knowledge, not just initiations, not just the festive part, the mediumship, the possession dimension or part of Ifa and ASHÉ. Okay. Baba Orisha, could you take the piece down from my brother Nkosi? All right, thank you, brother. So I'm going to continue this as a series because obviously the answers can't be found in 90 minutes. Okay. But the journey can begin. And that beginning needs to be facing truths and realities. Okay. However they're perceived. But again, clearly, the emphasis is on individuals who are getting initiated, individuals who have been initiated or who had been initiated and still find themselves wandering in the wonderment of what am I actually learning? What fruit is coming from the soil that I've tilled and the seeds that I've planted? What is coming out of all of this? And truthfully, we have every right to question that. Okay. It's difficult to face what we have to surmount or overcome in order to actually resonate with the answers, okay, of why we haven't learned. We continually repeat divinations, ebos, initiations, receiving this, receiving that, on and on and on, up until priesthood, Baba Orisha, Orisha, and some of us, Babalao, Iyanifa, and the application of Ifa and ASHÉ is gone, okay? Is absent, is not there. Where it is, that becomes now the search for the seeker. But just as importantly, those who are present as elders and those who are understanding that something should be learned, not just gone through or abode into some miraculous world of everything's going to be all right. You don't have to know anything. There is a need for us to confront that and question its validity. Because again, those who are seeking the knowledge aren't just seeking the knowledge for knowledge's sake. You can read 100 books, but it's the wisdom. Many of us are in our 40s, our 50s. Some people I'm working with are even in their 60s, have been priestesses for 16, 20 years, and are still struggling to learn the Merendi Logun. And initiates who have their warriors who are still struggling to learn the Obiabata. And Babalaos, who've been Babalaos for a number of years, are learning the Opwele and the King. And the question keeps arising. Why aren't the fundamentals being taught by the initiators, by those who are harvesting the fruits of the labor, the fruits of the investment? Now, please understand that I'm not attempting to attack anyone's character. I'm not attempting to say that something is more right than the other. All I'm saying is that for those who are seeking knowledge in order to attain wisdom, in order to be transformed by Ifa ASHÉ, that there's a place, okay? And that place is here, and that place is now. And it is building. We have now a virtual institution. We have books and writings, not because, this is, the commercial for it, but this is, again, the reality for it. Because, see, we're looking at it and saying, if we don't do it, then perhaps it will never be done. And our people will keep paying into and keep entrusting, giving their hearts and their souls and their and even their intellect. Oh, I don't have to think anymore. Oh, it's just going to be what the Iya said it's going to be, or the Baba said it was going to be. I'm just riding on the currents when I should be, paddling my own boat to reach and fulfill my own destiny. I was hoping the initiations would do more than that for me. So, concisely, that is the theme of today's discussion. Okay. And I reiterate, it is not an assassination on what anyone has gone through or whomever they went through it with. Okay. It is a statement of there is an answer to your question. Those of you who are questioning, what do I need to do in order to learn beyond the initiation? Okay. First of all, let's look at this whole directive of secrecy. Okay. And where that kind of bears its fruit. Okay. Secrecy. Oh, you're just a, Yahweh, or you're just an Orisha, you just received your lekes. There's no need for you to know XYZ. You're not ready to know, anything. Just do what you're told. And don't read anything. Don't travel anywhere. Don't lose your critical thinking, lose your inquisitiveness, lose yourself in the secrecy, because we who have the secrets don't feel as though you are capable of putting two and two together. Now, again, that's not an assassination. Perhaps that's how they were brought up, not only in the tradition, but in life. And that's where we start to widen our view and look into the larger context or lack thereof. Okay. Because if we look at, let's just say Catholicism as an example, okay, and the degree of secrecy that has been since the beginning a part of that whole Christian construct, okay, where only those of certain positions are permitted to have the greater degrees of knowledge, okay, and connotative understanding. And all those who are subjected by the doctrine of discovery, okay, are now set to be non-thinking. Okay. Those who challenge, those who question, are by means of the Inquisition tortured and punished. These are the realities that we have to face. Okay. I'm not, or I'm hoping not to be too subjective here. Because see, this is what I study. As a high priest, this is what I study. Others may, I can recite the Odu and da 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 da, and I'm like, that's fine. But at the end of the day, all right, this is the importance of the directive, not lording over someone and stripping them from the capacity to be critical and fulfill their destiny. This has to be the greatest directive, to assist others to think things out, to become knowledgeable, to climb this wall of secrecy or break through it in order to see the light and feel the warmth of enlightenment. Okay. Now, I can go into, you know, many myriads of, okay, discussions regarding this, but I'm going to tap into this one. And some of you may be familiar with it. It's called Allegory of the Cave. Okay, by Plato. Okay. You may say, well, why Plato? Well, wasn't he a Greek philosopher? Yeah, he was Greek, but he studied like a number of years where? In Kemet. Okay, in Kemet. He just wasn't studying, you know, all the high-minded Greeks were going to Kemet, and then they were coming back to Athens or wherever, and then expounding on the core of their teachings in Kemet. So when I say Allegory of the Cave by Plato, I'm really saying Allegory of the Cave interpreted by Plato from the philosophers of Kemet. And this is not conjecture, this is fact. Long story short, Allegory of the Cave speaks of people who are chained by neck and feet, not by hands, to watch a screen. And on the screen, there are shadows. And those people are so entrenched in the shadows that they accept it as reality. And no one, even though their hands are free, attempts to escape. And go where? Okay. And see what? They are convinced. Okay. They are in what we could call a cognitive comfort zone. They're in a blissful state in their acceptance of the shadows, again, accepting it as reality. Not knowing that there were others at the mouth of the cave who were holding up figures that they had created that now are the shadows cast. And even beyond that. Okay? So just by, let's just say, fate, one of the enchained people somehow gets loose and ventures to the mouth of the cave. And he sees the people who are secretly holding up the images that, again, are the shadows, holding up their creations, their carvings, their words. Okay? And so this, let's just say, escaped one, okay, starts to kind of peep at this. Now he's in hiding, he's checking this out. And he's saying, wow, so what we're looking at on the screen is secretly being formulated and formed by others who want us to see what's on the screen. And then he ventures out a little further and he sees that is beyond the fire that's casting the shadows, that there's a sun out there beaming rays of light. He's like, damn, all this time, these people are holding in secret the manipulations that have us believing that the shadows are real. That what we're seeing on the screen is real. And we're just sitting there believing. And although our hands are free, we do not attempt to free ourselves, nor those to the right and the left of us. So the escaped one, now enlightened, comes back and shares with his brothers and sisters like, yo, man, we being played. Okay? They got us believing what they want us to believe. Not what we are, coming to understandings amongst ourselves. They're carving the images and casting the shadows. And they have us believing that the shadows are real. And so the brothers and sisters were like, man, you must be crazy. Now, we are content. We are good right here. And whatever you saw, whatever you took to see what you saw, we cannot accept it. And they sought to hurt him. They sought to punish him for bringing truth, for bringing light, for bringing understanding. And that basically ends the allegory of the cave. You see? Now, I'm sure that it doesn't take much to, spin that allegory of the cave into the secrecy component, okay? That's at the core of what we have been under the auspices of, because we are under the auspices of Roman Catholicism. You can argue it all you want, but it's non-debatable. It's non-debatable. Every church is somewhat of an offspring of the Roman Catholics. That's not conjecture, that's fact. Okay? And for the many types, I think there's like 20 different subdivisions of churches in the US. Okay? And across, the world. No, it's incredible. But again, secrecy. Only the preacher's supposed to know. Okay? Only the priest is supposed to know. The people are to be held in a non-critically thinking state of mind and just go with faith and belief and following certain doctrines and indoctrinations. And of course, it carries over into how we've come to rediscover our ancestry through Santeria, Lukumi, Candomblé, Baptist, Methodist, okay? The language, the TV shows and movies that we watch. We're bombarded with don't think, don't create, don't pursue, just conform. Or as Mr. Brown is saying, don't conform, okay? But that's our statement. So if we're going to break away from the secrecy of it, oh, well, we're not supposed to know the Odu, or we just go, oh, I'm getting initiated, but nobody taught me how to use the Marindi Logoon, or, I have my one hand of Ifa, but I still have to keep going back and back and back to get the messages from Ifa. I don't have my Obi. I'm not studying the Odu. There's nothing going on. I'm just stuck on repeat. And I get more and more addicted to the repetition. Okay? It's called non-linear time. I keep going forward, but yet backwards. And then the next thing I look up, 5 years have passed by, 10 years, 15, 20. And no one's sharing anything with me. No one. And then when I try to read something or try to bring something to the table, I'm generally like the escaped one in the allegory of the cave. I'm turned on. I'm ostracized. Now I'm into arguments. So I'm not trying to argue with you, Ia. I'm just trying to present, a point of view or something that I read or something that I have reached as an epiphany, as a revelation, what are we trying to hold on here? Where are we going in this circle?
Control. Na, 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 na. You remember that Janet Jackson song about control?
Yeah. Going back a little bit there, man. But yeah.
No,
You
but
know?
seriously, I think that's what a lot of it is,
Mhm.
though. It's control. It's wanting to control, the path and the growth of, the student. And it's like I've dealt with that with a lot, several people that I've worked with that came from like different houses to where their initiators or their, low or whoever the person is that's kind of leading them
Mhm.
into this path of tradition, they have reached a point where it kind of like was that person saw that the student had the potential to be, very successful or be very impactful or influential in this field, in this space, in this, tradition. And it's like
Mhm.
when they saw that, they in turn kind of like put the brakes on or put the training wheels on, or, you know what I'm saying, like made sure that they kind of slowed them down. Hold on, let's scale that back a little bit. You're doing too much. You might mess around and get on my level, or dare I say, even go further or get, beyond where I'm at. You know what I mean? And I've literally seen that come through divination with multiple clients, and they confirm that, yeah, I feel like that's what was happening. So it's like it's sad because, I share with people. I want to give you what I got. You know what I mean? Because I want to see you win. And if you're not winning, then damn it, I got to look at myself, because what am I not doing right? You know what I mean? Especially if you're doing the work with whatever we're working on, something I'm not
Mhm.
doing right. If you're not winning, and I want to see you win. Like I always like to quote Custom Motto, where he says, "My job is not to train a fella to be champion of the world. My job is to train a fella or female to be champion of
Mhm.
the world, independent of me." So therefore, not only to train you to be a champion, but also train you to be independent and a champion. You know what I mean? So it's like, and that goes back to everything that you stand for and what you kind of share on not just the podcast, but definitely in the institute and in, the private calls. But also it's about wanting to share for the sake of the collective. You know what I mean? Because one person can't do all the work anyways. You know what I mean? So it's like we gotta train and teach other people, because we got a lot more people that we got to impact, that we got to help, that we got to heal, that we got to empower, we got to educate. You know what I mean? So it's like the people who are in it for that reason, they're really not in it for the right reasons.
Yeah. And it's a slippery slope, brother. As they say,
Mhm.
because again, that perhaps is the way that they were brought up.
Yeah, yeah,
It's all they know. They're in the cave. You know what I
yeah,
mean? They're,
yeah,
they're there with the chains on. They're
yeah,
they're shadowers begetting shadowers,
yeah.
and there's no convincing them or persuading them to see outside of that frame, as you've stated. They're in it, so it is hard to see outside of it.
Hmm.
you know they're locked inside, and then now everybody has to be trained the way that I've been trained.
Mm. Wait till you see
You
this next.
understand?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was saying, in alignment with what you're saying. Wait till you see this next comment, because
Okay.
it's in divine alignment to what you. What you say.
See. All right, so yes, this is why the ASHÉ podcast is important. Okay, because again, it's no assassination on anyone's character, understanding that that's the way they may have been brought up. Okay, and if it is a control element, then there are statements, okay, that could be made, but dare not. Okay. My emphasis now becomes on A, being the part of a foundation, an institutional statement, okay, whereby that does not exist, that does not occur. So for anyone who's experiencing that as an adult, to climb that wall, okay, of secrecy and, as Baba Orisha Bami stated, control and even fear. Because again, we're going back to the Roman Catholic interpretation and dissemination of what the spiritual world is, what the religious world is, what the way of worship is, and what are the punishments if you do not, as Mr. Brown said, conform, if you do not follow the dictates and the doctrines that we, as the hierarchy of Catholicism, are demanding that you do. We're not asking that you do it. We're demanding that you do it. And if you don't do it, again, the Inquisition in all of its horrid manifestations will be something that you're going to suffer. Okay. And again, this becomes a part of the braiding of Ifa and ASHÉ in the new world. Okay. Which is really the old world. Okay. It's just a reenaction and a redevelopment of Catholic doctrine. Okay. Again, it's not conjecture. This is facts, right? Now, let's just say that because of the technology and because many of us have gone to school, be it Catholic or public or private, okay? Just say those are three major ones. And aside from the Christian indoctrination, because even in the public school, you know, Christmas trees and everything else, you know, it's very Christianized, you know, it is, all right? It's very Europeanized, okay? It is Western European, but the Western Europeans were conquered by whom? Oh, yeah, the Romans, all right? So here we have this continual flow of secrecy and being taught to idolize the screen. Don't dare turn around. Don't dare turn around. And do not venture outside of the cave, because see, it's not us who's going to get you, but it's going to be the people who you try to awaken, who you try to get to see. And I've experienced this personally. Shared with me, I don't mind, with the handbook. No, people were threatening my life. People were burning the books. People were going through all of that, and I'm just sitting chilling. I'm watching this like, yo, man, what? How can it be that you don't want people to know? But I'm going to keep on. I'm going to keep on doing what I was sent here to do. Okay? Because see, this is my Ori. This is my destiny. And I don't take it lightly. And obviously I don't have to flaunt it. I don't have to walk around, you know, like I'm the whatever, because see, that's not the way. That's not the way. Okay? People don't need to be told. Okay? They need to be understood. Okay? They need to be reflected. They need to be warmed by Ifa and resonate with the primordial wisdom. Who cares if you can chant 99 Odu? Who cares? Who cares? At the end of the day, who cares? But you know what's really of the greatest concern? People who smile, you can see on their face, whose love of life is reawakened, whose determination to resurrect themselves. That's what people care about. It is. I've been doing this a long time, and it's all I've seen. Nobody who has ever come for divination wants to sit there and hear how many Odu you can recite. Don't
Facts.
care. To care
That's
about
facts.
is how can I help save my baby girl? Okay.
Yes.
How can I get to see my grandkids because whatever situation she's in, you know, she's all hung up. She's not. I want to see my grandkids before I die. No.
That's really.
So okay, like,
I
who
feel
cares about what the Lord says at this point? You know, who cares about what the Odu says? But people need to care. They need to see that you care. They need to be cared for. And is that not what we as the high priests are set to do? Is that not what we in the Baba and Orishas are set to do? To care for our people, primarily, not to attempt to impress them nor manipulate them. You know, and Baba Orisha, baby, there's something you said that kind of triggers something, you know, and you know, when you're talking about so you know the priests and priestess and the control factor, and not wanting people to get beyond them, et cetera, et
yeah.
cetera.
Yeah.
That part. I'm like, so then erase the term godchild from your vocabulary, because
Oh,
any parent would want to see their child
yes.
do as well, if not better. And they will
Yeah.
work diligently, scrub floors to make sure you can get to college. You know what I mean? Take all kinds of hits, will work day and night to give their child a better life.
Yes.
So how you going to say somebody's your godchild and you squashing them and putting up obstacles, talking bad about them, not wanting them to grow intellectually? If you can't grow intellectually, how are you going to grow spiritually? I mean, honestly speaking. What do you think, brother?
No, I agree. I agree a million percent. I tell mine, I tell the young kings that all the time. Like my goal is I want you to be 100 times better than me. And really, I feel like there's no reason why you shouldn't, because you got a lot more than I have. And no disrespect to my parents, they gave me everything they had. They did what they could do, and I'm grateful for that. I wouldn't trade them for the world. However,
Mm-hmm.
I created a lane, and a path, in my own right in regards
Mm-hmm.
to entrepreneurship or in regards to this
Yes.
tradition. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm like, I want my sons, and I want not just my children, that I have, but any children that I work with, or that I mentor, or that I teach, or whatever the case may be. I even coach. If I coach you playing basketball, my goal is teaching you life lessons about the game or through the game that you're going to take with you into life, not just on the court. You know what I mean? So it's like I really want to see you win by all senses and imaginations of and measure. Even let's say clients, people who I divine for, or people who I'm working with within this tradition. I tell them up front, like, listen, I'm gonna challenge you. You know what I mean? Because I see your potential. I know what you're capable of, and I'm going to challenge you because I want to see you win. I want to see you hit your stride to do whatever it is that you really came here to do, and I want to help you any way I can. You know what I mean? To position you or give you whatever I can, or make the connection to whoever I can to see you win. Like that makes me feel like I did my job. And I don't care if you get bigger or go higher or further than I do, because guess what? None of us are gonna outshine the sun. No matter,
Uh,
I don't care if you got billions, you could be Musk, you could be Bezos, you could be
mm,
Gates. That's fine. Nobody's
mhm.
outshining the sun. Period.
Yes.
And if you are any of those people who have millions or trillions or billions, your
Mhm.
air is just as mandatory as my air.
That's right.
So without that air, without this blood flowing through these veins,
Mhm.
we just the same.
Yes.
So
Yes.
therefore, that doesn't make you better than me, and it doesn't make me better than the next man or woman. You know what I mean? But the way I approach, this thing called life is I want to see people win. And if there's anything
ASHÉ.
I can do, I can give you to help you along that way, I'm gonna do it for those who, I rock with.
And doesn't this tie over into being a babalao? I mean, doesn't this and see this is as we work with people, say, okay, I can share with you how to divine, for example. You know, I can share with you some insights on the Odu and the Orisha, but that's only part of the teachings. Okay. You also have to be taught how to be a diviner.
Mm.
And the base word of diviner clearly is divine.
Mm.
You can be a diviner mechanically. You can.
Message.
You can recite 999 whatevers. You can be a pastor and know the Bible up and down. You can be an imam. Anything in Quran, I can tell you. But those same people can be just as wicked as the day. The same people holding their Bibles could be lynching brother or sister. Those same people with the Quran enslaving East African. Those same people with that opale could be scamming you all the way to the mortgage in your home. Now, that's not an assassination of character. I'm calling no names, but I'm sure that it happens. I'm absolutely sure that it happens. I have prevented it from happening because of the integrity of the position, not the delusional magnificence of the tradition. There are people now who are crying tears of regret because of the money that they've spent and come to find out scammed. Because the assumption was, and I'll use assumption and not inference, the assumption was, oh, they're Nigerian, they speak the language, they know this and they know that. You get scammed all the way to the bank. You understand? Now, I'm not saying it happens everywhere all the time, but even back in my day, back in the 90s, okay, early 90s, like I said, I was in Nigeria in 91 and 92, but I was warned by people who had gone or who had planned to go, but couldn't even go because their money was gone and they couldn't contact the people whom they had sent the money to. Huh?
Well,
Like,
that's another thing that I've dealt with, Baba. Several
Yes, sir.
people that I work with as well. Same thing. I go send off to get a hand of V5, send the money, and take. I don't know one. It pissed me off even just saying it, but one person, I think I want to say it was like over a year. It took them to send, their hand of V5. I'm just like, yo, that's nuts. Like
Yeah.
for real, that's nuts.
Yeah. And it's incredible because again, back to I'm just going to say it, back to the emptiness that we have. We are seeking spiritual fulfillment because we don't have it.
Yes.
If we had it, we wouldn't be seeking it because it would be there. I mean, obviously. And this, the ancestral calling, we hear it and we want to go where it's coming from, but people are intercepting our messages. People have spent time learning how to prey upon those who are earnestly seeking.
And ignorance. They prey upon the ignorance as well, Baba.
Well, yes. Because when we have no idea of, then we are more vulnerable. Yes.
Yep.
Now, back to and good people out there, okay, putting the two and two together. So we have the secrecy factor, and then we have the manipulation factor. Okay. And under that, manipulation, we'll put scamming. Now, I listened to a very profound YouTube video, because I'm kind of interested in where all this Ifa Tune thing is coming with Professor Yemoja Okadeji. And his treatise, his statement is that we can have Ifa without the secrecy, we can have Ifa without the quote unquote unnecessary elbows, and we can have Ifa based on this one single word, Ife, love. Okay, and he's an elder, and he even set up a concrete institute over there. You know, got a full beard, everything. You know, he's an elder. He's in. He is an accredited professor. But his whole statement is, this whole way that Ifa is going is maddening. And I want to, as he's saying, I'm paraphrasing now, I want to take out the higher minded and all that in quotation marks, and say that this should be the lead. Not say, he never said do away with anything. He's just saying, I want to extract that and put in. People are challenging him up and down. They are like, no, Ifa has to be this, and you got to have blood sacrifices and blah, 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 blah. And Ifa should not change back to cultural inertia. Okay. Yeah, why Ifa won't change? And I'm just listening. I'm not casting any vote to the left or to the right. But I do feel as though those of us who are involved in Ifa and ASHÉ should be somewhat aware of the types of dialogue that are happening around us. Will it make any difference any kind of way? Not really, because I'm going to practice Ifa and ASHÉ the way that I'm so moved. You know, I'm not going to indoctrinate anybody, and I ain't going to be indoctrinated by anybody. I made that clear since 1986. Okay? Because that's what Ifa is all about. Okay? So I just want to, kind of wanted to throw that out there. But the major point is that in this conversation, had a sister there who stated, that she came up in the church, and we're talking about in Nigeria, and we know there's a large percentage of Christian Nigerians. Okay. Many who had a lot to do with translating Ifa Yoruba into Ifa English. You had the Johnson, you had Crothers, you had Ipegas. Okay. And then out of which came the whole ASHÉ with Satan kind of thing. All right, but that's a story for another podcast. However, one of the statements that came through in this the podcast with the professor by this woman who was interviewing him, but in my opinion, she wasn't interviewing him; she was dogging him. Okay, but then she just finally kind of burst out and said, "What do you intend on doing about the corruption that is in Ifa and ASHÉ?" And I'm like, I don't know if you meant to say that or not. Okay. Because here you are badgering this man who's saying, all I want from Ifa and ASHÉ is to get people to love themselves so that they can love others, so that we can make a change in the world. So that Ifa, as Iwoimeji states, can literally mend our broken world. I just want to focus on that and build from that. And she's like, no. Then what about all the animal sacrifices and things that people should do? And the crowd behind her is going, wow, yeah. You don't want to dilute Ifa. You don't want to do this. I'm not trying to do anything except look at it differently than what everybody is chained and looking at the screen and talking about that this is Ifa, this is ASHÉ. Okay? But when she threw that, what are you going to do about the corruption in there? I was done. I was done, because you have just admitted that corruption is at an all-time high. It's at an all-time high everywhere. And all them elbows that are supposedly being made for you is not stopping it. It's not stopping it. Those elbows aren't changing people. Those people want something to change around them. They don't want something to change inside of them. Ifa is esoteric, which simply means the inward journey, the inward path of resurrection, ascension, and transformation. That's how I've always seen it. That's how I will continue to see it. And that's how I'm going to teach it.
And there's that. How's that grab you?
Yeah, you know?
Nah, Bubba, I got a question, man. This is something that I'm glad it came to me, because it's been something that I've had, several different conversations and dialogue about, but I wanted to get your opinion. So I'm glad Spirit kind of spoken in my ear. What do you feel about people who are in relationships with someone who is in another religion or another spiritual tradition? Because I got a couple of friends and clients who I work with that, that's a challenge. And so I wanted to get your opinion on it, because I know when I first started my journey, I pretty much committed to the fact that, whoever I'm, dating or kicking it with, if they don't, like, if they're not rocking with it, then it's not going to work, because I'm not going to change what I felt like at that time created a sense of clarity and a sense of purpose on a much higher level, from a tangible perspective in regards to spirituality and my spiritual journey. So what do you feel like in regards to someone who is dating or maybe even married to someone who's not in the tradition? And do you feel like that's something that it is possible, that it could work? And like, what is your perspective on that, Bubba?
Okay. All right. Straight up, as usual, I feel as though
We don't expect it any other way. You come on, man.
I keep trying to bring it down a little bit. I feel as though it could work.
Yeah.
I feel as though it could work, because at the end of the day, you can have two people in Ifa and ASHÉ who are at each other's throats, carrying on up and down, running behind each other up and down the street or whatever. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Absolutely.
But you see, it depends on the maturity of the individual. And in my spirit, let's just say, okay, I'm ready to embrace a wife, and I meet someone who is, let's just say, is into Lukumi. Okay. Now, I'm not down with the Catholic saints. I make no apology. Okay. But let's just say she and I get to talking. Okay. And we talking while we walking, and we walking while we talking, and everything is like chill. Everything is cool. And what I do is, because I'm a matured man, okay, I start to see that the devotion that she has for Lukumi is the same devotion that I have for Ifa ASHÉ. So now it's not a matter of whether you do what I do, okay? It's a matter of what type of person are you, and what type of person are you seeking to become as a result of your faith, as a result of your learning, as a result of your pursuit of your happiness. Because how can I make you happy with me and at the same time block you from being happy with yourself? Your mama raised you on Lukumi. Your grandmama raised you on Lukumi. Your daddy played bata at the bimbes. So now I'm going to come in and say, because you don't do it my way, I can't talk to you. It's like, no. And she, looking at me the same way. Well, I got to try to change this grown man. You know, he's a noted figure in Ifeanyi Sheshe. I love his work. I see what he's doing, and I love him for it. So we're going to quibble over, well, you don't do it my way, and I don't do it your way, and all that kind of stuff. It's like, nah, we're not in high school. Okay, we grown-ups. I feel as though people can handle it. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it did. I was just trying to respond to some of the comments
Okay.
too. But yeah, and you know, that's what my counsel was, because my thing was, I looked at it like, I know for a fact it could work, because hell, it's a I'm not sure if she's Dominican or whatever, but it's a Spanish sister but melanated that works at
Yeah.
one of the botanicals that I go to, and you
Mhm.
know, her significant other is of totally different religion. I'm not gonna say it. I don't know if they watch the show or not, but I don't want to, you
Yeah.
know, put
Yeah.
people's business on black. But they definitely are in a religion that is totally different from
Mhm.
Ifa and KJ. But you know, they've been married, I don't know how long, but they got grown children, so clearly, you know, they was able to make it work. And so I look at it like, my message to, you know, to my friends and to the people who I've had this conversation with is like, at the end of the day, what it really boils down to is, I feel like, three major components or factors: love, respect, and the ability to work together. You know what I mean? Because if you have those, and I even literally use my hand as like a triangle, because at the end of the day, I feel like you got to have the love and you know, the respect. The respect
Yeah.
and the love has to be there, right? But
Mhm.
ultimately, I feel like what should go hand in hand, or depending on how you look at it, definitely for me personally, it has to be a major component, is peace. I have to have my peace. I'm not trading that for nothing or nobody. Like, I have to have that. Camera acting up on me. But
You
so it's like the
good.
peace. The peace is like something that I can't, like, not you know, I just can't not have that be a part of what, you know, I have to live with. I have to live with the peace in my life, like, period. And there's no if, ands, or buts about it. Like, I'm not changing that. So it's like, I'm trying to fight with the
Mhm.
camera at the same time with the
It's okay. I got you.
huh?
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm just going to jump into this. Okay. While you work that out, we good?
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Because I don't know what that thing is doing.
So of all of what we're saying now, and that even goes back to, again, the secrecy. Okay. Um, I'll keep coming back because you know, again, we're dealing with uh being or becoming knowledgeable beyond initiations. So let's look at the Odu, right? And you know, there are, you know, people who are saying that, well, you know, they tell me the Odu, but I don't know really anything about the Odu. And I've been in the tradition for a long time. I hear the Odu. Every time I go get a reading. Now, notice they don't say divination. We need to know that there's a difference between those two words. That I get an Odu, and then sometimes I write it down, or sometimes I'm told to write it down, but most times not. It's just, this is your situation, and you know, that'll be X amount of dollars for, you know, whatever cleansing that needs to take place. Okay, so I'm on the merry-go-round, right? I know that there's, you know, something else because I'm getting dizzy. Okay. And I want to stop, but I don't know where to go. And then before I forget, there was a statement about fear and people fearing what they don't understand. I'd like to add to that. People fear what they are made to fear. People fear what they've been auto kind of now suggesting. Oh, if I don't do this, you know, Shango not going to bless me, or if I don't do this, I'm going to go to hell. If I don't do this, you know, I'm going to be ostracized. You know, if I don't do this, if I don't do this. And why am I saying if I don't do this? Because somebody told me if you don't do this. Okay. So people do understand, but their understanding is delusional. I mean, who seriously believes that if I don't do this or don't do that, then I'm going to hell. And meanwhile, these people who are telling me this have just committed a genocide against a whole people in Mexico and Central America and South America and North America. But I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell because I did what? Because I did what? Because I told you I don't want to believe in you because I can't. I can't believe in you. I just can't. And so now you're going to burn me alive? What? So yeah, people fear what they don't understand, but they do understand. They just can't accept their delusion of whatever it is that they are fearing. You following me?
Oh yeah.
You know, I think it was one of the sisters who said it, but I'm okay with that because it is that. But who teaches you to fear anything? Who teaches you to fear anything? Who taught you to fear God? Were you born with that? When you were a child exploring the world, jumping in puddles and getting worms out of the ground and delighting in life? Who taught you to fear God? Oh, when you started going to church. Not when you was out in nature.
Listen.
So fear is a
it's a tool.
It's a fallacy.
It's a weapon. It's a weapon.
Yes. Because if I say I don't fear you, when those tactics are bought into hollow, people throwing down plates, oh, if you don't do this, blah, 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 I'm frothing at the mouth and all that kind of stuff. I mean, like, get out of here. Okay, I jumped out of airplanes when I was a kid. Okay, I competed in martial arts. You understand? I'm the little guy with the big spirit. That's what they call me. You know what I mean? And I started to see that 99% of it is pure intimidation.
It is. Oh yeah.
The guys wearing the I'm gonna crush you on their geese and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, you know what? If I let my mind go to where they want it to go, I don't even need to step out because I'm already defeated. Because I'm living into the intimidation. We must stop being intimidated by Ifa and ASHÉ and by anyone who seeks to intimidate us.
Or be intimidated by anything at all, let alone Ifa ASHÉ.
Yes, sir. Say it again for the people in the back.
Don't be fearful or intimidated by anything at all, because at the end of the day, the worst that can happen is, guess what? You can die. But guess what? We damn near die every night when we go to sleep anyways. It's not a big difference between death and sleep. So therefore, don't be, there's no reason for us to be afraid, because even if the body dies, the spirit and the soul definitely doesn't die. It's infinite.
Yeah.
So there's no need to fear anything for real.
Right. Strategize, be courageous. You can't be courageous if you're not fearful.
Facts.
Because having courage is being able to step beyond that instinctive kind of fear thing or that implanted fear. Okay. We're looking for people to be courageous. Okay. Why are you in Ifa and ASHÉ? To be enslaved, to be chained, to be fearful, to keep hearing the same rhetoric. Oh, but they're not talking about, this and that, and the same thing that I've been hearing all my life in all the elays. You're damn right we're not talking about it, because it's senseless at this level. Let me qualify that. Okay, it's senseless at this level, or should I say, it's beyond the senses at this level. It might have been necessary at those levels, But obviously, if you're listening to us and leaning into us, you're saying that I know there's more and I want to get it. And now perhaps I may just be able to find it in my lifetime. In my lifetime. Because see, there's no on your dying bed, oh Lord, please forgive me for all the sins. I mean, people come up with all kinds of crazy stuff. You know, well, you can rape all the women that you want, but as long as you confess and ask for forgiveness on your dying bed, all your sins will be forgiven. What kind of bullshit is that? You know what I mean? That's for the people who did the wrong thing. What about those women who are suffering? What about the children?
Yes.
What about them? The ones that you're going to now burn at the stake and cast them to hell. No, we need to get out of this.
Yeah.
We need to get out of this. I'm telling you.
The little boys over there fondling up in their little sanctuary, you know what I'm saying, and doing the most with. We're gonna talk about hell. Let's talk about it, boy, because it's hot. It's hot. It's hot.
No, I'm going to confess my sins before I die, and I'm going to be forgiven, and the Lord going to let me into heaven.
Yeah, well, let's see if the Yami got something to say about that.
Okay. I want to slide over to the Odu because I want to give people a little taste of something here. Okay, that's called honey. A little taste of honey. All right. Now, the whole statement about animal sacrificing, and the one comment about Orisha baby that I did find where the young man asked about human sacrifices in the Odu. And I basically sent him on a mission, if you will, to find it himself and to share it with us. Because it's in there, but it's in the form of, and I'm just going to throw out, a few crumbs, okay? Because again, I'm not trying to be the preacher man up in here. Oh, in verse 33, the Lord said, no. If you have a question, you got a mind, you can read, okay? And if you don't think that human sacrifices were going on everywhere on the planet for one reason or another, then for all of the schooling that you get, you have no global perspective. And that's not a put down, but that's something that you need to face. Because you can't strengthen yourself on ignorance. And notice there's a difference between ignorance and stupidity. Ignorance is that you just don't know. Being stupid is a choice. Okay. So most people don't want to study the context to have a global perspective. Okay. For example, it's just a little commercial here. All right. The foribales that we do, the ikunles that we do. Okay. They're not relegated to the Yoruba. Okay. They're not. When we look at, I use the example, some of the Asian groups, when they bow, that's literally a foribale.
Yeah.
Okay. They are placing their heads to the ground. In their foreparents' days, and even in some areas of their cultural bearing, people still make a full prostration like they do in Yoruba land and other areas of Africa. It's not relegated, you see, but that's all we see, the shadows on the screen. We don't see that as a universal statement that's done by different peoples. But it's done. It's done right now. So that the whole bowing thing is just kind of an adaptation of it. And when people are clamoring about, oh, well, we need to stick to the Odu and we need to do everything by the Odu. Well, I don't see you prostrating. And the women, if you're supposed to kneel when you serve your husband, okay, or to kneel okay, to show honor and respect to your husband in public, you're like, oh no, oh hell no, I don't want to do that. Oh, but you just said we should be doing everything in the culture and what Odu. So you're doing what they call cherry picking. You're picking what you want to do. Oh, well, we need to have blood ebo because the iron in the blood and the Orisha need blood. Who told you that? What Orisha came down and told you that you need to feed me blood? I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. Okay. But, okay, when somebody comes along and says, from a global perspective, okay, humans were being sacrificed, and in Ifa and ASHÉ, there is an Odu, another crumb, where, again, Orunmila, the Odu came down where he had to sacrifice one of his children. And he loved his baby girl. That just says his baby girl. And he was like, oh, well, we got to do something about this because, see, I'm not looking to sacrifice her. Okay. And so changes were made. And I state again, twins were sacrificed at one point. Albinos were sacrificed at one point. But if you want to look for it in the Odu, then I suggest you go find it. But I'm telling you that that was part of the culture. And it was not relegated to just Nigeria. You can go back to the early Greeks. They were sacrificing. The Romans were sacrificing people left and right. Okay, cut open their stomachs, and depending on how their intestines fell, you had people who would do readings in a divinatory form called asphyxiacy. You see, because people in our elays won't let us read, or people don't want us to venture outside of the prison cell of spirituality, we know nothing. We know nothing. And even worse, we don't want to know anything. We don't want to go anywhere. And we will challenge people and even revolt against people who attempt to turn us around. Okay? So here we have the human sacrifice. And now people trying to hold on to, Ifa can't be changed and we can't dilute it. They don't want to deal with the fact that there was literally human sacrifice. I just finished reading Zora Neale Hurston's, okay? The Life of Harold the Great. Transformational. Now, how I connect with it, A, because it deals with ancient times. It doesn't focus on the Jewish people as specifically as it focuses on the ancient Near Eastern theater, okay? Now, there's one chapter that deals with when there were skirmishes and wars going on, how prisoners of war were sent to the synagogues to be sacrificed to God. To be sacrificed to God. There were human sacrifices done even by the Jewish people, whom people say, oh, well, they clean themselves with chickens and then they do the sacrifices. But again, they do it once a year. They don't do it every time somebody don't like them or things aren't going right at the job, because see, they work their own ish out. And then they have an elder tradition that helps to, guide them psychospiritually. Okay. Now, in, let's just say, argument of, or in this case, a debatable directive would be to cite Odus that share with us that it's more about the development of one's character. In Agbeyo Conran, Orunmila marries Iwa, character. Iwa Puele, Iwa Laye, okay, Iwa Lewa, in any order, okay? and they have good fortune, they have children, they have money, they make it through. All right. In Agbeo Sa, Orisha Baby, could you take that down, please? In Agbeo Sa, we have the divinity support those who are truthful, those who are righteous, and those who are kind. Okay. Those who are initiated must reinitiate themselves. Iwori irete. Okay. In Irosun Iwori, seek wisdom, do good. Help the less fortunate, increase the prosperity of the world. Okay. Owaring Oshe, the wisest and most potent amongst human beings will become Orishas. What? Human beings become Orishas? Well, of course they do. The wisest and the most important. Okay. I'm just picking out a few here. Ogunda Irete. Honesty and good work are better than charms and spells. In Ogunda Irete, it's stated that we make imule to the earth. And back in the day when I had my temple, for over 21 years, that was a part of the initiation. What is the promise that you are making to the earth in terms of your improvement of yourself and the covenant that you're making with your ancestors, with the Orisha, with Orumila, and dare I say, with Olodumare? What are you doing? Just sitting there waiting for everybody to bow down in front of you or somebody to get possessed? That's what everybody else is doing. But what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you bringing to your own table? Okay, just a few more. Right? Osa Otora. Truth is the character of Oludumare. Truth is the word that cannot fall. Ifa is truth. Now, as far as an Ebo is concerned, mix the Ierosun with palm oil and then partake of it. There's not one mention of a blood sacrifice. Not one. Every Odu does not carry a blood sacrifice. Every time you get a divination, you don't have to run and get a chicken. Okay? You don't have to give a blood offering to your whatever every 3 months, every 4 months, every week, whatever these people got y'all doing. Yeah, Queen, that's what I had to share with one of my students. Okay. But they were too evangelized to even see it. But okay, you're right. All right. In Otorpuni D, abstain from blood. Abstain from it. Back in my day, I'm gonna tell you this, and you're gonna be like, no, they didn't. But yes, they did. They used to have people lick the head of the chicken after the Ebo was done. I'm like, who
Wait a
woke
minute.
up one
Wait
morning?
a minute. Wait one mother loving minute. They did
Yep. Said
what?
when the Ebo was done, Mobede Shasha, or did they say Nukumi Ogun Shoro? And the people whom the Ebo was done for, they would say, now you have to taste the blood, and the people they have to lick the blood off the neck of the chicken, the stem of the chicken. I've seen it. I've never done it. I will never do it. I'm like, what? And people
That's
tell me, yeah,
normal.
when I did the Ebo, I had to lick, huh?
That's normal in leukemia. The leukemia, like the way I was brought up, that's normal. I've seen it, and yep, I was like, when the very first one, I was probably like, I got to do what? But listen,
No, I'm not going to do it. And even when I was in the band and with the church, and they passed around the little crackers and the wine, I was like, no, thank you, I'm good. It's like, no, I don't need to partake in that. whatever relationship you feel as though you have, you know, like to say, again, like say, I married the Lukumi sister spiritually because I ain't getting into no paperwork. But spiritually, it's just like, you know what? If you want to go up and they have you, you know, licking the blood and all that kind of stuff, I said, I want you to consider one thing, and then, you know, let's build from that. Okay. Disease. Okay. Because you got bird flu.
Yes.
And this is not the first time bird flu been going around. Bird flu was going around back in the 90s.
Nope.
A lot of birds from China and all that kind of stuff were infected and were coming over to the U.S. And I say, you know, and you folks in these houses, you got people licking the blood. You know what I mean? It's bad enough you handling the chicken and they pooping all over the daggone place. But when that thing came down with the bird flu, I stopped. I stopped doing them. I said, I'm not going to risk the health of my friends and my family, you know, the devotees. For what? Oh, because the Odu said that? What is wrong with you? Look, we're just going to use palm oil and we're going to be all right. And I was like, cool. He's looking out for us. Wow.
Right.
You know? So two more. We gotta go. Otur Pun Otur. Baba Orisha Bimi, I think you would really like this one.
Oh yeah.
Because this is where the 4-day week comes from.
Ah, got you.
Okay. Day 1, Orisha and La. Day 2, Orunmila. Day 3, Ogun. And then day 4, Shango. But it's in the Odu under Oturu Pun Otur. Okay? In case it ever comes up. When I was reviewing it, I thought about you, man, because I know this is part of your teaching.
Yeah.
Okay. And then lastly, ASHÉ ED, do not love excessively. Enemies will take advantage of your kindness and forgiving nature. There's to be no blood sacrifice. Give Orunmila calories and Ifa medicine. Okay. So this whole thing about Oshun and unconditional, and this whole thing, they got just wrapped up in sensuality and sexuality, and you know, and she's just all over the place. And it's like, no. ASHÉ is Oshun's Odu, basically.
Yeah.
All right. And then of course you have ED.
I just had that come up the other day. I want to say I forgot the second, but yeah, it literally just came up like 2 days ago, I think.
Yeah. So here we have, you know, so in the Odu is saying one thing, but people out there believing something else. But those people who believe in something else are stating that that's the reality and there should be no change. And like, you don't know what the blankety blank you're talking about. You know, what Odu have you studied? How long have you studied it? How long have you been doing this? I've been doing this as long as you've been old. Okay. But since you've been born. So it's like, you know, I see what others can see. I'm not saying that I agree totally with the professor, but I see what he's seeing. Okay. I can't say that I agree with the people who are against him and, you know, want to be the old guard. You know what I mean? I'm saying, of course, things are going to change. I can cite Odu where things have happened that had to be written in. Like, you know, Torah, ASHÉ talks about Muslims and how we shouldn't really be like rolling up, you know, with their game. But how would that find its way into the Odu when the Muslim didn't come around until 700 years AD? It was written in. And then when in Ile Ife, Orunmila brings down Agbani because Ile Ife was going through anarchy. People were overthrowing the government. Okay, but Orunmila brought down the Idan of the Agbani to say, y'all need to chill because we can't destroy ourselves. And we're going to set up a new system of government. How would that have happened to be in the Odu if it existed as a word of God that came down? That's like, no, we need to get out of that. So things will change. And we will utilize our intellect to take from our spiritual journey into Ifa and ASHÉ. to make manifest the world that we will call our own. Okay. Ifa will mend our broken world, but it's going to hurt. Like I was sharing with Baba Orisha Baby, it was like, you know, when that bone is broken, when it gets reset, it ain't a pretty feeling. Okay. And then even then, it takes time in the cast to heal. Our stuff is broken. And the moment we thought it was when you healed a little bit, here come this joker, you know, with the new administration. And now they're just trying to shatter the whole daggone both legs and both arms. So we need to strengthen ourselves so that we can heal and move forward. There's no other way. There's no other way. But at the same time, in closing, we can't hide behind some fanciful idea of what the Odu is and stand up, well, this is the Odu and this is not the Odu. What if the Odu said your daughter had to marry a Babalawo and she's 14 years old? Oh, you all into the Odu and you don't think there should be any changes. So go on and give up your daughter to the Babalawo because, see, that's what it said in the Odu. You see, everybody down until it's time to get down. So we have to be careful. We have to be careful. Okay. So that kind of ends my first episode on knowledge beyond initiation. All right.
Yes, sir.
Twilight Zone. All right. We going in.
Yes, sir.
Outer limits.
Yes,
you know?
Yes, sir. And we're just getting started too. We just getting started. Yes, sir. Nah, yeah, that's real, man. This is it's been a powerful conversation, man. Tribe is definitely thriving, and everybody's still in live. Like everybody turned up, man. So you know, I wanted to ask you a question too. This is another one that came up in I think during another divination last week. The Orisha, and I hope I'm saying it right. Is it Yewa? Yahweh? It's Yewa. Yewa?
I've come across it, but not
Right.
not put a finger on.
Got you. So I thought, okay, so it wasn't just me then, because listen, when I seen it, I was like, damn. I ain't really seen a whole lot about, you know what I mean? I've seen it before. I've seen the name before, but it was someone or something that I haven't had a lot of research. I read a lot about it. It was very different. So I was like, if you were familiar with it, hell, if you ain't really seen it.
My mind is clicking, going through the Rolodex.
Okay. Right. That's a lot to go
those
through.
of you who know what a Rolodex is,
Right.
The people be like, "What's an LP?"
Right.
But Yewa, I've seen connected with Yemoja. Okay, Yemoo.
And that's an old Lord of Obatala, right? Of the female version. Okay.
Yes. And I've somewhere come across those names being interchanged.
That makes sense.
How so?
Well, because
Don't do.
Well, not just that, but even like from life. Like I remember like in very early stages of my journey, I remember telling me that I come from a long line of Batalas, but not just that. I personally she was saying like was connected to a really old, deep road of Obatala from like antiquity. And what's nuts about that, or no, not nuts, what's amazing about that is when I went to Ifa. It came up during, part of my, I don't know if it was the Itai or just divination, but that I was to receive Obalufon. And it said Obalufon is another long, really antiquity, old, road, Obatala, if I'm not mistaken, or he was connected to Obatala in some way, shape, form, or fashion. If I'm not mistaken, he was even one of the first immortals to rule Ile Ife, along with Oduduwa, or I should say after Oduduwa and I think it was like one or two others before Obalufon. I know Ogun was one of the three. So I think Obalufon was either the fourth or the fifth Oni to rule in Ile Ife. And so, but then so I say all that to say that when you said what you said, because when I saw it, it didn't click, it didn't resonate with me. But now that you said that, I would not be surprised if it was connected to Yemo, that old role of the female version of Obatala, because it just kind of the way, you know, phonetically the way it's written, and it just I would have believed and imagined so that it probably is connected to. I'm gonna do more research and due diligence on it though, for sure.
Yes. And then later on, we hear people saying, Yemoja was the first wife of, you see? So here we have that change.
Yep.
Change makes you want to hustle, you know? And it's like, yeah, so things do change. Perceptions do change. Other people come in with new ideas, different ideas, and they're discussed. And then they're made to be. Okay, so here we are. You know, I just taking somebody call me for dinner. Look, I don't do divinations anymore. I can give you the number of somebody who does. He's very, very good, named Baba Orisha Bami down there. But as for me, I'm going to take care of the philosophy of it. You know, the historical context of it, and be the professor in it within the Ifa Isheshe. I'm not trying to get into the university to teach this. You know, I'm trying to be a part of building the institution that houses it. ASHÉ.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. That's real. Tribe, I hate to have to do this, man, but I gotta get ready to close it down a little bit because I gotta get some more work done before shutting it down completely, and then getting up in the morning to get more work done. But I look forward to doing it again. I'm gonna definitely, what's today, Tuesday? I'm definitely trying to knock out at least one or two more lives before we head up to Jayville for the Professor Small event this weekend. But I definitely Friday might be the night, probably be maybe Friday. I don't know. I'll figure it out, but I'll definitely keep y'all posted and posted, of course, on the channel in regards to which day we'll be running this thing back. But yeah, a lot of great comments that I really wish that we had the time to go through all of them. But I have to put this one on there because I want to see what do you say about the possibilities of this possibly in the future, Baba?
To stop animal sacrifice?
Yeah, I feel like he made a strong point when he said that.
Yeah, well, the way I see it is, depending on who you're a student of.
Yep.
Okay, because see, what we are missing is that back in the ancient days, there were different Babalaos who headed different Ifa abodes, if you will. The analogy is like the Shaolin monks. You would have different monks who taught different styles, who had different ways of looking at the need for. You even had some monks who, although they trained, they refused to fight. You see, they were the peaceful warriors, and their symbol was like this: they would not fight unless it was absolutely necessary, because they had their boys who would fight. You know what I mean? They come out, but that's what they chose. So, if you have a master teacher who states to you that we can find another way, there is another way. There's always been another way. And during our next podcast, I'm going to talk about how the need for ebos even came about, because it is not what we think. It is not what we think. But that's a story for another day. All right. So the man who asked about, look, if you don't want to do animal sacrifices, that should not keep you from being immersed in Ifa and Isheshe. And I would be the first one to say, my temple is open to you. Okay. And you can become a learned individual. There are other ebos to make in life. All right.
ASHÉ.
Thank you, Shoutout.
ASHÉ. Yeah, no, that's real. Because we've discussed that several times on the channel. Is about the most important sacrifice is the sacrifice of self, and like sacrificing the bad habits, sacrificing the liability behavior, sacrificing the complacency, sacrificing the self-limited beliefs, sacrificing, you know what I'm saying, like all those things that hold us down and keep us from ascending to our higher selves, to our fulfilling our potential, fulfilling our destiny. Those are the things I feel like that we really should be sacrificing, or at least striving to sacrifice the most, because those are the things that once we do that, like naturally, it's kind of like you get to the point, and I've been using this metaphor a lot in the last few days, but the Neo in the Matrix, when he really finally realized and believed he was the one. And then at that moment is when he started, everything slowed down. When they shooting bullets at him, they swinging at him, and he just looking at everything, just bobbing and weaving, just going back in slow motion. You know what I'm saying? Just moving and bobbing and weaving it all, because it's like at that point he really knew, like, yo, I am the one. And that's something I've been sharing with a lot of people. We all are the one. You know what I mean? We're all a product of that one universal prime creator, no matter what you want to call it. We're talking about Ifa here, so the great God of heaven, Olamari. We're all a product of the one. So therefore, we have access to the energy and the entity and the information and the frequency of the one. So it's like once we really believe in that, just like Neo did in the Matrix, that's when we can really kind of literally make the universe, or at least the world, or our experience in the world, kind of control it we can wield it, you know what I mean, at our will, because we truly believe the fact that we are the one. And when I say one, I'm talking about even like being connected to the one Mother Earth, the one planet, the one spirit, you know what I mean, the one universal prime creator. Like that's when we really start to take those quantum leaps and really start to crack the code, and then to eliminate the agents and crash the matrix. Sooner we could do that, the sooner we all, enjoy a much better experience.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot going on in the comments, man. Everybody's still turned up. But Baba, I appreciate you, man, as always, and give thanks and gratitude. Looking forward to Thursday. And so I'm thinking, because tomorrow's Wednesday, yeah, maybe possibly tomorrow, if not Friday. I think we'll have to do that, get another one in, man, to kind of keep this thing going, because there's definitely a lot going on in a positive way.
All right. It's all good.
Yes, sir. And for Brother Fraser Bay, the Ojise Institute would be the way. I'll share that real quick in the comments. He said he wanted to get more information about what you were sharing, Baba. So I'm gonna send the link to the institute when I find it real quick, and yeah, we're gonna make it do what it do. Let me see. Okay, got it. Click that thing. And another shout out to, like I said, first and foremost, the very first members of the Institute who was there for the first call last week. But also, I want to give a shout out to everyone else who joined throughout the week since last week's call. So we should have a few more, I should say, several more people on this Thursday's call at 7, which the link is for those who already are in the Institute, the link is already in the homepage. I did a few upgrades to the homepage, where we definitely have the link for the weekly class and calls. That's in there, and it should be right there on the homepage. And I think everyone should have received their invite to the Notion homepage, where everything is laid out for the Institute, as well as the recording from last week's call. I just sent it to our brand new members. They should have had theirs this evening as well. So yeah, with that, Brother Fraser Bay, you could definitely sign up for the Ojise Institute, or you could join the study group, or you can reach out to Baba directly, and we could definitely figure out what we gotta do to get you right, bro, get you on the right path, and get you where you're striving to go. And with that, man, I definitely appreciate the love and support, family. Shakita, we appreciate you. Shout out for the super chat. Much love. Much love to our regular tribe who's here, always through thick and thin, through the technology challenges we be having sometimes. I had one earlier with a recorded podcast that hopefully I can salvage it and get that up soon. But yeah, we're going to definitely make it happen, family. And I'm going to put Baba, I'm gonna put your Facebook link in the chat because brother Fraser said he wanted to reach out to you as well. So I'm gonna share that. So brother Fraser, I just sent the link to Baba's Facebook. You can highlight him on there, connect with him and shoot him a DM. That'd probably be the easiest way to get a hold of him in the near future. And then Baba, you got anything you want to share with the tribe before we get up out of here?
Just peace and love, man. And we're on the battlefield. It's really no time to be laying back and being overly festive and wanting to swirl into an altered state of mind. We're at a point now where it's about increasing our ability and our capabilities now that we've discovered that we have the capacity. And I just want to leave with that. Yeah.
Facts.
And as Brother Nkosi is saying, yeah, my people, we got some homework to do. Right? And even if it's just replaying this podcast 2, 3, 4, 5 times, start taking notes. Start, pulling, extracting what's most meaningful to you right here, right now. And then you can build on that. You see that? I don't believe in the cookie cutter, programming thing. I don't believe in the promises of heaven if you just you just do what I say kind of thing. It's like, no, find your way, and we'll walk hand in hand, mind in mind, and spirit together. Okay. ASHÉ.
ASHÉ. Yeah, no, that was powerful, Baba. I appreciate it, man. So yeah, family. Yeah, thanks again. Like I said, for all the love and support. I definitely appreciate all y'all. The channel, and I like to be real, Baba. That's how we roll around here. Keep it all the way above and transparent. So I definitely appreciate the love and support, family. The frequency and the volume has slowed down a little bit with ASHÉ because I have taken on quite a few more endeavors and different tasks and projects at hand. However, I'm still doing my best to make sure that we not only put out consistent, dope, hot quality content, but also we make sure that it happens still on a regular basis. And I'm doing my best to make sure that I kind of multitask with making that happen. So bear with me. It might be if there has been any delays with getting any of the private community videos or the presentations and all the different things that I look forward to sharing with you guys. I ask that you just, if you can, find it in your heart to give me a little bit of patience because I'm looking to add on to the team. As a matter of fact, I got to set up a call this week with someone that I'm praying that it works out. We can come to a agreement to join the team to really help me in regards to like everything that has to do with the production and putting things together. Family. And yeah, shout out to you, Queen. Glad you're back. Made it back, and Chiquita and Fraser and Kosi, Ifa Sagoon, the whole tribe, man. We definitely appreciate all the love and support, everybody. Baba, once again, dropped another mic and dropped bombs all over the place tonight. I kind of could tell you was gonna go in just by how we opened up, man. You had that twinkle in your eye. You like you was ready to come and start some ish. you was like I wish a mother lover would today. You had that look in your eye. You got dangerous on us tonight, so we all appreciate it. I'm gonna say thanks for the track. I know they feel the same way.
It's all good, bro. It's all good.
That's it.
It's all good.
All right, family. So yeah, we'll definitely see y'all again sometime in the very near future this week, man. I look forward to chopping up with all y'all. Yeah, and we're gonna make it do what it do. So don't forget to please like, share, subscribe. Anyone who's interested in joining the Institute, we know that times are hard and challenging in times of finances. So we definitely are willing. We are already offering payment plans, and we're assisting tribe members to join. No tribe member left behind. So we're going to definitely do what we got to do, to work with everybody to make sure that we get as many of us signed up, to join as possible, even if it is making payment plans or, paying half now, half later, whatever it takes. We're going to work with y'all to make it happen because this is about the growth, the expansion, the education, the empowerment, and the upliftment of Ifa, ASHÉ, and the African spirituality experience. We for the impact. And so I appreciate all y'all for the love and support. And I'll see y'all on the next episode. We out. Peace. Odabo.
Ẹni tó gbàgbé ilé sàpò ìyàgbọ́ tẹ́ǹtì ẹni takísà ní tàtàn ò bá padà sílé anítìjàkọ ẹja lọ pé eégún mo sí ẹni gbẹ́rẹ́ ìpàkọ́. Forsake not your ancestors and praise your